everybody, and welcome in to another round of music news segment here on the Living Deadwax channel. I am your host, Ty, joined by my co-host, Tyler. Tyler, how are you tonight, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Look forward to this every single week and covering this news that I just informed you, and you already knew, obviously. I have no idea what we're about to talk about. So that makes it
Yeah,
even more stimulating to me. You get a live reaction. You can be talking about anything, and I have really no idea what we're doing. So let's do it,
yeah. It's like not even music news. We're just gonna talk about politics right now.
man.
It's like I
Exit
did not sign
strategy.
up for this.
Yeah.
um, so yeah,
Great.
I could do this way more professionally and actually tell Tyler, but like I was saying,
No.
I usually just do the news roundup like an hour before we get on, and just
Yeah,
pick
yeah.
four or five topics that are related to us. So this will be coming to the channel semi regularly. So if you like music news, if you like vinyl, if you like just rock music in general, mostly guitar driven music, check us out. Hang out, hit the subscribe button. We would certainly appreciate that, and comment down
100%.
below all that good stuff. So let's get into it. I was very excited when this dropped. This is more for me. This is kind of a selfish thing to talk about, but it kind of goes into line with ticket prices.
All
So
right.
um so I thought it was a good tie-in with that. So somebody I've been wanting to see for a very long time just announced his North American dates for this year, and I was very stoked. So Peter Gabriel announced his dates. Did you know about this?
I did. I heard about this. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I was immediately like, well, I got to check out the dates. And he's actually doing something really cool. So, every full moon this year so far, he's released a new song. So, a new song just dropped like a couple days ago, I think. So, there is a new record coming as well this year. And this tour is going to be for that record. So, he's going to play a lot of new stuff, but they talked about playing a lot of old stuff as well. So I looked at the dates, and unfortunately, not coming to us. And I was pretty bummed about that. But then I read there he was announcing more dates. So I went on the
Mm.
website and I looked, and they actually announced the cities. They just have not announced the dates. So still not coming to Arizona.
Okay.
So that is disappointing. So I was just like, let's look at Kia Forum in Los Angeles, um, or Inglewood, I guess it is.
Yeah.
Um, so let's look on there. Let's go on Live Nation. Yesterday I went on there and the pre-sale was closed. It was just VIP stuff. Today I did
Okay.
go in there because the platinum pre-sale was online, and the Citibank pre-sale was online. I don't have a Citi card, but it's very easy to get the code. It's just the same. Citi card is the same 6 digits, which we found out when we bought Metallica tickets,
Yeah.
and was looking for pricing. And so I just used that same code to get into the
You
Citibank
just can't check
pre-sale.
out.
So now here's the thing: I might actually would pay this if it was coming here. I would very think about it, because this is Peter's 70+ years old. Like you're running out of time. So I'm never going to see Genesis. I'm never going to see anybody in Genesis. This would be my only opportunity, probably.
Yeah.
So who knows how many more tours Peter Gabriel has in him. So I went on there, and floor seats for kind of not in front of the stage. They didn't have any available in the front of the stage. I think they're holding those back. But kind of in like the second batch of floor seats, they were $325 plus fees,
A piece,
which is
obviously, right?
a
Yeah.
piece, which isn't like ridiculous. But I put them in the cart, added everything up, added the fees, and it was $750 plus fees. And I'm thinking, dude, I gotta drive there, gotta get the
1,500.
hotel room. I'm in at $1,500, and I'm like, I can't do it. Like, it just sucks. And then I was looking
Yeah.
at the upper deck of the Forum, and they wanted the platinum tickets for like $200. So it's just
No.
more so just me. I don't know if you have any tidbits on there. I was very excited for this. I hope they do add more dates and more cities to this.
Yeah.
They're not billing it as like a farewell tour, so
He's
I
not.
don't know.
That's the thing when we talked about before, like with all these tours, like it sucks because it pulls at your heartstrings a little bit and your sentimentality about it, because it's like you love Peter so much and you want to see these songs and you want to see just the little bit of Genesis you can possibly see, one of your favorite bands. Like, you want to see them, and the fact that they are older, these artists are older, and Peter being no exception, obviously. They put it out there, and like they make you want to spend the money. But when you, like you said, when you add it all up, we're driving to not weird, but you're driving to California in this case.
Yeah.
Getting a hotel, gas, everything else. You're definitely coming in at least 13, 14 conservatively, 15 probably if you guys go out to eat for that night, whatever the case is, right? So it's just it's fucking crazy. That's the kind of thing we're kind of facing. Like I said with Bruce, same deal. Bruce and Peter, I imagine, are very similar in age. Peter actually might be a little bit older than Bruce, maybe. I think Bruce is 74. Yeah, I think Peter is probably like 76, maybe. I don't know, something along those lines.
And Genesis started in 69.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't know, like 68, 69. So that's their first record anyway. Right there.
Yeah. So it's like, you got to think about that every time these guys announce a tour. And it sucks, man. It's horrible. I hate it. It's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse. As we talked about a few episodes ago, it's only going to get worse. And I mean, I'm with you. If that was here and you were coming out of it at $750 flat, if that was what you were doing going home with, I still can't fathom that ticket price. Even knowing what we're spending for stuff, it's still insane to me. But stomachable, I suppose, if you are going to walk away with obviously floor seats and possibly the last time you're ever going to opportunity to see them. It's your first and last time, so it's like, I get it.
Yeah, definitely possibly the last time. There is more cities, like I said. They include Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Detroit, Denver, Dallas, Houston, and more. The more wasn't anything close to Phoenix. There's the current dates announced. Get on it if you're interested in seeing Peter. Like you're gonna run out of time if you've never seen these guys. Unfortunately, Father Time is undefeated. So
100%.
I was bummed because I was hoping for a Phoenix date. So we'll see. Maybe the tour will do really well and he'll add more dates beyond that, or maybe they'll do another round of dates next year or something. I don't know, but like I said, they're running out of time. If it was here, I would entertain paying $150 for an upper deck seat too. Like that's how much that means to me just to see him. Because like I said, it's it. Like we're running out of opportunities.
So Peter, I mean, this again is not going to soften this at all, but Peter's only 73 years old.
Oh yeah, only yeah.
So, Bruce has him by a year, by the way. So good on Bruce, but he's only 73. So if he wants to tour into his late 70s, then we'll get another shot here, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the Stones are still doing shows, so who knows? Alrighty. Yeah. Moving on to the next thing. A little bit of sad news, but I thought it was pretty important to talk about based on this guy's discography and his credits. So you've probably heard about this too. Longtime punk producer. Where am I? There I am. Yeah, Spot actually passed away. I don't know if you heard that. 72. So we talked about touring into your late 70s, and like you get up to that age and like anything can happen. And he did have some issues. He had a long illness that he was dealing with, but still, you never know. Like shit can turn on a dime. So obviously don't know anything about Spot. Glen Lockett just worked with SST, had a shit ton of credits. Basically all the early Black Flag stuff he was involved in. Good friends with Greg Ginn. I mean, did Damaged, did Milo Goes to College. So, Earth AD, Misfits. So like those three records right there are giant records in
that
punk
time for the scene.
Exactly. Punk, hardcore, and now too. Like those records are still influencing bands, obviously with Milo Goes to College, huge influence on pop punk. Black Flag and Misfits, obviously huge influence on hardcore, metal today, everything. So I just wanted to shout that out, and that it definitely sucks. I was reading through the article, and he was waiting on a lung transplant, so that really sucks. So
that does suck a lot.
So there he is. Yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add. I don't know if you have anything to add to that. If you have anything to talk about those records or anything, I should have pulled out my Damage. I don't know.
That's true. You have Damage signed by the one Henry Rollins for sure. No, I just know that Henry had pretty glowing things to say about Spot, if I remember correctly, and he's talked about Spot quite a bit, and especially in get in the van. Yeah, he did all those records, man. He was the guy. He was the guy at SST. So obviously all those records came out, or damn near all of them came out in SST, for better or worse, because later on everything kind of went to shit and nobody ever got fucking paid. But for what Spot did, from what I know, I'm very, very surface with all these records, to be completely honest with you. I only know the bare minimum. And, obviously he did everything on those records, and they became pretty iconic and influential, like you just said. And
yeah,
they got jocked forever, and still to this day get pretty jocked, especially the Black Flag stuff. Obviously, it's evergreen. Everybody always talks about Black Flag if you're into hardcore punk or whatever. And there will be a litany of Black Flag bar tattoos from here until the end of time, until the sun explodes. And he is no small part of that.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, I'm not obviously a huge fan of any of that stuff. I do dig quite a bit of Misfits stuff, but I wouldn't call myself a big fan. I enjoy Black Flag. That Descendants record is really cool too. So I just know about them more than I know
100%.
Know them front to back. So but I do appreciate history, and I just wanted to talk about that because obviously those records, whether you're into that type of music or not, they've probably influenced
history,
something and they probably influenced something that you've listened to.
100%.
Chances are. Moving on to this. This is kind of an interesting topic. So ABBA had doing that big that Avatar that tour, not the movie, but where their fake their hologramish selves. And Bjorn on his podcast was doing an interview, and the guy asked him, "Do you ever worry about this being used for bad?" And of course, absolutely I do. But he says it was going to happen anyway, and we wanted to be the first to do it. So here's kind of my take on this, and then we can get yours. My thing is they all still look and sound, that last record, they all sounded and looked good. Yeah. I understand if you don't want to go tour. They never really toured. But I don't understand if you don't want to go do a 60-date fucking tour. But you could make bank doing 20 fucking dates in the States and space it out over 5 months. You know what I'm saying? Or just do 5 nights at MSG and 5 nights in LA or whatever.
100%.
So I kind of get what he's saying, wanting to be the first to do something, but I also didn't understand it. You don't have to, other than you just want to be the first to do it. And that doesn't necessarily make it a good thing. And they are gonna world tour this. That's the big thing. So I think it was what's next year that plans are doing in development to do this around the world. So
go ahead and read that little bit at the top there, because this is what I knew about it. So a little bit of that for that last paragraph right there. Go ahead and read that last paragraph. No, right below that. They built a venue for this.
Yes.
For this. Yes. I knew that much. So when I heard that, fucking astounding. They spent so much, not no disrespect whatsoever, but you're building custom venues for this. Just absolutely insane. I'm with you. I mean, I think I know we share a lot of the same sentiments for a lot of this stuff. Your point, in a lot of these bands the same way. Your point is you could play 5 here, 5 there, and just do 10 dates total in the US or wherever you want to do, right? And do a few dates in London, a few dates, wherever in Europe, where you want to go, right? But for a lot of these acts or whatever, and Robert Plant says the same thing about the Zeppelin stuff. It's how much money do you need? It's not going to change my life. And if you think it's more trouble than it's worth, it's who cares at that point? I understand, it'd be cool for the fans. Absolutely. It'd be fucking astounding for the fans to see this stuff after they've been broken up for 35, 40 years. They got together and made the record that people, like enough, I guess, right? And people still want to see them, and they will bring people out. But like I said, it's at a certain age, I guess your upper 70s, early 80s, I think some of them are, right? I think you kind of just call it, and you're it's more trouble than it's worth. If it requires me being out on the road for 2 months, I don't want to do it.
I agree with you, but this seems to me more trouble than just actually doing some shows. You all got to be scanned for 7-hour days. I don't know how many days that is, but 7-hour days. You had to be scanned in. You had to build this venue that they are going to tour the venue. So the venue is going to go around. So it's going to be like Barnum and Bailey's. Like it's going to be like a circus tent. I'm picturing, not literally, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, like to me, that just seems more difficult, and it seems like you're just doing it so you can say that you did it, which is like, all you guys are still alive. You still sing well. You all still look normal. Like you don't look bad. You don't look unhealthy. Like I don't understand it. Why this seems like more work. I understand what you're saying, but it seems like they're just doing this to be the first to do it, which is like that doesn't make it necessarily a great thing. Also, this 100%. begs the question. This begs the question about future artists, if they own their likenesses or not. What will this open in the future 10, 20 years from now? Because we already have actors. I know Keanu Reeves has it written into his contracts that they can't use anything after his death. Like they can't use fucking AI. Bruce Willis already sold his shit.
Yep.
So we're in a weird world. And this is going to come to music. It 100% is. Don't think it won't, because they are doing it first. And this will make a lot of money.
So I actually listened to Trunk today. I renewed my Sirius subscription for $1 for the next 3 months. I just played it on my MacBook. So like it won't work on my phone for whatever reason. My fully updated iPhone will not work on that, but it'll work on the MacBook, website. Fine. It's fine. Or the Safari, it's fine. But so listen to a lot of backups of the Trunk, and they were talking about this, right? And there's two things that they pointed out, or that he pointed out, which are totally real. So they started out with way back when, a couple years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago now, is like the Dio one and the Zappa one. Yeah. And both those had, and people liked them for what they were. They had, I guess, like mixed results, or, people came out, didn't come out, whatever, maybe didn't make as much money. He said that those are closed down. The Roy one, I guess, made a ton of money. And that one, it remains to be seen if the family still wants to do another run of that or whatever happens. But he pointed out that a lot of bands are still being, or not a lot, but there are certainly acts that are signing with that same company now, even though there's mixed results as to what it's turned into. And even furthermore, if a band is selling their discography, there's going to be, I don't know if might already been done, like you just mentioned it with Bruce Willis, might already be done. But I imagine that's going to be at some point carved into that as well, saying, hey, we're going to buy all of your shit, but for another 100 million, can we buy your likeness as well, so we can run this shit forever? Which is definitely absolutely going to be a thing that people are going to sell at some point, and that's going to be thought about. The other part of that, though, is like they said, it's going to happen whether we do it or not. It's a weird thing that just happened. I don't know if you heard about it, but M Shadows, there was somebody that did an AI recreation of M Shadows doing an announcement of canceled tour dates for Avenged Sevenfold that wasn't real. But
they hacked
so many
the Twitter and shit.
Correct, but so many people heard it. He had to go and he was shocked. He was like, what the fuck? This is me, but it's not me, obviously. What the fuck is happening? And then he had to go make another statement that saying, this is not me. I never said this. The dates are on or whatever. So like, you're getting into a really weird, like we've talked this, politically and everything else, like at a certain point, all of this stuff is going to get thrown out. And there's no more bombshells of anything of any kind in terms of audio, and I mean obviously video too at a certain point, right? Like the uncanny valley is going to get conquered at some point, right? And it's going to be just what we live with every day. So it's a really, really weird thing. I don't know. Like I'm not super down with it, obviously, but I don't know, man. It makes me feel weird.
My big worry with it is this happening against artists' will somehow. Totally. Like if the label or somebody gets rights to some likeness or whatever, or they own, like, let's say this would never happen, but just a random thing like Elektra or whatever, whoever owns fucking Elektra now, is it Warner or whatever, they own Metallica from 1980s whatever to this and to 1990, so they can just, when Metallica's dead and gone, we're gonna run a Black Album tour and we're gonna redo 100%. It. Like I don't think there's any reason why the technology won't get there and why they can't do that. Now, to your point, like Roy, they have been doing the Roy hologram, but that is controlled by his estate and his sons. If they want to do that, fine. I don't care. Make your money. Your dad was popular and died and didn't have a chance to really to make the money. So make the money. I don't really care. I might even entertain if it ever came here going to see it because I would obviously never had that opportunity. So, but something like this, they are alive. They're all still alive. They all still sound good. You're gonna do this, which just to be cool, I guess. And it opens that door. I think we're opening Pandora's box, and I think we're getting to the point where we are going to see someday in our lifetime where it's going to be a tour of a well-known band, like fucking, let's say the fucking Doors. Let's say the Doors fucking sell, or something happens with that, and they get Jim Morrison's fucking likeness.
No,
like that's weird.
You're 100%
fucked up
right.
And weird. It's weird to me. So I don't know if you have anything else to add to that, but
no, I'm absolutely about that. Like, and it's really weird. Like, what's super fucked up is like I was thinking about there's artists out there that like they obviously didn't. For example, Jim Morrison, he didn't know this was ever gonna. He didn't know anything about anything, right? Like, what's funny is there actually speculation that he has later in life, and people said he foresaw electronic music because he was like, at a certain point, computers are going to turn on and make music, and we're going to be, meaningless, whatever, right? So it's kind of funny we're talking about this, but well, the thing about it is that there's already bands that are rolling out there without any original members whatsoever, right? And the people always talk about Foreigner. Foreigner is always a band that everybody that's in the band currently was not in the band when Foreigner was Foreigner, right? But this band still kicks ass, and what's his name? Mick Jones? No, is it Mick Jones? Mick Jones comes out every so often, but he still controls the band. So like he's getting paid whether he's out there or not. And if we can go even further, where no one has to go out anymore, I own whatever I own about this band, and now I can send out a Foreigner doesn't matter because nobody gives a fuck about Foreigner people. But obviously, clearly, no one gives a fuck about the members of Foreigner. So because they still do co-headlines or headline tours in pretty healthy rooms right now. So it's like you're going one step further, and you're not even going out anymore. No one's going out, and if I can make even more money by just paying a production company to do something and just one time theoretically or whatever and just pay some kind of crew, but I'm still making that money at the end of the day, why not? Why wouldn't I fucking do that? And we already talked about that with Kiss last week. We talked about Kiss continuing on as basically a sanctioned cover band or tribute band, whatever, right?
Yeah. But imagine not even having to pay guys.
100%. Ty, I will bet you every dollar I've ever spent in my life, if this becomes a thing if this catches on in any respect whatsoever in the next 5 years, there's a Kiss version of this coming to Vegas or coming to a town near you, 100%. And I can guarantee you, Paul and fucking and Gene, they're fucking watching this with hawk eyes, going, listen, we were gonna pay dudes, but if now we don't have to pay dudes, let's do that instead.
Yep. 100%. I agree. I'm sure we'll revisit this topic someday because this ABBA thing's going to kick off, and we'll see what happens. Last bit of news today. Let's move on to some more fake stuff, not pro wrestling. Let's move on to Motley Crue. So Motley Crue is still doing the world tour. I wanted to riff on this for a little bit because I don't look to Motley Crue as like a guiding light of like morality or like integrity or ethics. I don't at all. That's not where I'm going with this. My problem with this, you guys made such a big deal out of retiring. You signed the contracts. We can't break these contracts. All that garbage. Okay.
We're coming back.
So, gave you $1 billion. You guys decided to come back. Doing a cool stadium tour with Def Leppard. It's a really cool package, okay? I'm not even going to talk about the fact that you guys are faking some songs and some songs you're not, which is really weird. It's really weird. We were texting back and forth about that, Monday. Really, really weird how some songs, the vocals are clearly piped in, and then some songs, Vince Neil's trying to sing them. Trying, it's like just fake it the whole fucking time. But anyway,
if you're already in the dumpster, you're already in it. Just do it, homie, and it's gonna be a better deal than everybody fucking is experiencing right now. Unfortunately,
yes. So Nikki Sixx though, he's out there talking like they might go till 2031 to get 50 years out of this fucking thing.
Jesus.
And he's talking about how they're all great friends again and doing all this shit. I kind of got pissed reading this quote because the thing me and you talked about last weekend about the Mick Mars stuff, and you were talking about how Mick signed on to do that, the last tour where they signed the contract.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, this is it. And then they came back and he's like, okay, I'll come back. I'll do this last run of dates with Def Leppard. And now they're just, now we got John 5 in the band. We can fucking go forever. So I don't know if you have a take on this. I'm just like,
no, it's
whatever. Do whatever you got to do. If people are going to go see them, whatever, make the money. But like, it's so weird. It's just so weird.
I listen. It's already not great for Motley Live at this point. We talked about it before. Mick didn't want to do this newest tour, and I inferred a lot. We talked about this last week, whatever. I inferred a lot, but the implication is pretty clear here that Mick to a certain extent, liked the fact that even with as sick as he is, he was still able to do the entire run of the band. He was he's the only, him and Nikki, only constant members of the band since day one. Were Nikki Sixx and Mick Mars. Mick managed to conquer his illness for 40 years to be able to remain in the band. And then they come back. He didn't want to come back. He basically apologized to the fans that they kind of ripped off for that last tour. And he was like, all right, we're doing one more tour with the world tour with Def Leppard or whatever, the stadium tour with Def Leppard, whatever. And then push came to shove, and they're like, and he thought, I guess, supposedly, he was like, all right, we're doing that first run. And when they approached them, we got to go to Europe too. We got to go to Asia for sure. Obviously in South America, duh. And he was just like, I can't do this. Like, I can't. He thought I don't know. I don't want to put anything in his mouth, but if it was me, it's pretty selfish because like he's still in the band technically and everything. He's not leaving the band or whatever. He's just not on the road with them anymore. So he's still getting a cut monetarily, which is good for him. But he walked to death's door to be able to be in this fucking band since day one until the last day. And then he's your brother, one of your closest friends, whatever. I'm not saying, it sucks. It's a horrible situation, but he had pride in the fact that he was able to do it for so long. And then when it was like, hey, you can't do it anymore. Like, we're not going to end this. So we got to replace you. And you waited. And my point to you the other day was you waited until the last shred of Vince Neil being able to fucking perform to replace the guy with somebody 20 years younger than you who can actually bring a new energy, a new fucking sound, just anything, a new fucking revitalize the band. You waited until fucking the last fucking moment to do that. And now you're talking about going for another fucking 9 years or whatever, or 7 years, whatever they just said.
Yeah, 8 years.
Insanity. 8 years.
Yeah.
Fucking insanity.
Yeah, so his last quote here. So this isn't a final tour. What does that look like? I have no idea. I'm just telling you, you have a band saying, we're having a blast. Why stop? I get it. You guys are making big money. You're playing the biggest houses you probably have ever played. So it's really impressive. It's a really weird tour because you watch Def Leppard videos and Def Leppard is still playing live. They sound good for their age.
100%. 100%.
They all still play competently. It's just a weird tour. Like I can't imagine seeing Def Leppard and then seeing Motley Crue right before that or right after that, whatever they're doing, and being like, this is fake as shit. It's so fake. It's either completely real and sounds like garbage, and then some sounds sound like you're listening to the goddamn CD. It's so
100%.
bad. And again, I'm not looking for Motley Crue for integrity or ethics or whatever, but you're the motherfuckers who made the big deal out of it. You guys are the ones that made the big deal out of it. So here's the fucking thing for bands. I get it. The Eagles have had farewell tour after farewell tour, fucking Kiss, whatever. But you guys are the ones who made the bigger deal out about it than mostly everybody else. So, and you guys acted like you had all this fucking integrity and all this shit. So, whatever.
We want to end it before it gets embarrassing. That was the attitude, right?
Yeah.
Well,
but I guess it'll never get embarrassing if you can just pipe in the fucking vocals and
you should have been doing the last
drum
fucking
fills
10 years
and everything else. So,
no,
but anyways, guys,
insanity.
Yeah. The crew camp's just it's a clown show. It's really funny and it's kind of sad too because like again, they're not like the biggest integrity band, but it was always the same guys, like for the most part, outside of the one record or whatever. That's pretty impressive. Like that's pretty impressive
100%.
for a band, especially a fucking 80s hair metal band. Like that's really fucking impressive because those bands have had just their Wikipedia pages for members have their own Wikipedia pages.
Yeah.
You know, those are the ones you have to click on to go to the list of members. Crue's not like that, which I appreciate,
No.
but like you guys are turned into a fucking clown show.
No,
So
they
what
were
the
the one.
hell?
They were the last, or I should say last, but like, I think it's them, U2, which is now going to end because Larry's leaving U2, so that's a thing. So
Saw that,
yeah. So U2, Motley, also I guess Fish is also all original members, which is very interesting. Not for us at all, but like Fish is also
Nice.
an all original member band, and they're kind of it. You know, like it's
well,
just
Motley's
them.
not anymore. But
And Motley's not anymore. So, and then U2's not, and then I guess we got Fish. Fish is our one thing, right? But it's like, it's just like anything else. You vote with your wallet. So, like, whatever you disagree with, and as long as people are cool with it, they're going to keep making money. So,
yeah,
you know, and just like we just talked about with the hologram or whatever, as long as people come out and do it, they're going to keep going. So, like, it doesn't matter what your thoughts are on it at all, because as long as they make enough money, they're going to keep shitting these things out every day of the week. So
yes,
it doesn't matter.
and they're gonna still charge $500+ for
premium
a
dollars. Yeah, not our money.
So.
You know, thankfully. Actually, I was gonna send this to you. I think you've already seen it though. But I actually, Motley Crue. I actually just watched the Todd in the Shadows video on YouTube. So shout out to that guy. Todd's a big fan. But shout out to that guy. He did Generation Swine. I just watched that.
Nice.
I just watched that video, and that's the comeback record with Vince. And it's funny. I've never listened to the record, so whatever. So, but he listens to obviously the whole record, and he's like, every time he goes into a song, he's kind of always like, he approaches it with like, obviously with like some sort of like optimism, I suppose. And he's like, and because they wanted to have a new aggressive, you know, a fresh sound in 1997, which is kind of like an aggressive, not thrashy, but like I guess Pantera, Nine Inch Nails, like Tool, like whatever the fuck, like whatever was big at the time. They wanted to have that sound. And every time he starts a song, it starts off that way a little bit. And he goes, yeah, you know, I could see this, you know, it's okay. Yeah, I can get with this. And then the whole, because all the narrative is we're a new band. We're going to approach things with a heavier, with a, you know, a different take, you know, whatever the hell. Right. But every time Vince busts into it, it's always Motley Crue. Vince's vocals obviously never change. His vocal style never changes. So it's just a hair metal band after the first 12 seconds of you know, music. It's just a hair metal band song again. So it's like, you know, it's just kind of funny, but it's a good video. So if you want to go check out, all the weird records, go check that guy out. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been a fan of Todd for a long time. I'll check that out.
Yeah.
The only thing I know about that record is Brandon. That last song is supposedly awful.
Yeah, it's supposedly
like the worst song they've ever done.
So what's funny about that? It's about Tommy Lee's son. Okay. Fine. He has multiple sons at the same age. So, like, you're writing not that you have to, whatever, right? But you're writing a song about your son in which your other child still exists. He's right there. It's not, you know, it's right there next to him, right? So it's like a very odd thing to write a song about somebody that, you know, about your child, but not the other or not both of them, you know, whatever. It's a different deal. But yeah. So there you go. It's bad. It's a bad song.
Also a little interesting fact about that. Karabi sued them for $4 million for breach of contract and fraud. And then Karabi's only credited for 2 songs on that record, and he claims that he wrote 80% of the record.
Yeah, because he was in the band for a full year when they were working on him. 100%.
Pretty much just screwed him over. So
yeah. What's funny is another thing he points out in that, we're going on here with a little jag, but another thing he points out in that video is that so John Corabi worked on that record for I guess a year and then got fired because they were like, we got to bring back Vince because the Motley Crue self-titled record didn't perform, even though in hindsight that record is a lot more appreciated you know, than what it was in its time, obviously, but it's a very different take, and it's a different sounding band, but you know, people still accepted it for what it was if you didn't think about Motley Crue, I guess, right? Cool. But so they decided once that record flopped in its time, bring back Vince. So when they brought back Vince, they thought they were going to do Motley Crue like numbers again. So they got pissed at Elektra for not pouring money into the promotion for the record. And what's funny is that they made a point in that moment to say that the label's not behind us on this record. One, the record fucking sucks. Okay, no one fucking likes the record. Two, they actually promoted your asses like a motherfucking shitload. They put it on every late night show. They put it on Regis and Kathy Lee at the time. They fucking pumped those motherfuckers out there. They played the Billboard Music Awards. Or it might have been the U.S., the Billboard. Regardless, places Motley Crue shouldn't be. Okay, at the time especially. So, like, they did as much as they possibly could. They fucking made Shout at the Devil in '97. They made a fucking video for that too, but it didn't come out to like MTV. It came out on their DVD or whatever later. But like, they spent money on your band. You just had a bad fucking record they didn't want to promote and waste money on because they knew it was going to do the same numbers whether you fucking did this. They paid more money for your videos or not. You're doing the same business. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Motley Crue. Guess go see him if you want.
Motley Crue's
coming at you in a bad way. Alrighty, guys, that is the news roundup for this week. Again, if you do like this kind of stuff, hit the subscribe button. Stick around with us. We do a main topic every week where we do a deep dive into a specific music-related, vinyl-related topic. So stick around. We also do vinyl hauls. Those come at you every week, mostly. So check us out. Hit the subscribe. Like the video, comment down below, all that good stuff. But anyways, guys, that is the news roundup for this week, and we'll see you next time here on the Living Deadwax channel.